That is a lot better, but you are a little crooked. So we're gonna fix that. Okay, cool. That's still a little crooked. Well, it is, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've talked here. My bad. I think it's no secret that I've kind of neglected my duties with this channel. I remember the last video I made was saying that there's gonna be changes to this channel, something along those lines, yada yada yada. And then I disappeared for like another 3 months, maybe even 4 at this point. And I think it's only fair that I tell you exactly why. Because I've been away for a reason, a very, very important reason. Some of you may already know. I might have put it as the thumbnail or the title, maybe even both. I'm just kind of crazy like that, you know? Because ladies and gentlemen, after months, and I do mean months of work, I finally did it. I made an album. There is no harmonica on the album, so if you were expecting that, I'm really sorry to disappoint. I don't know how to play. But yeah, that's pretty much where I've been for the past while. It's been quite the journey, and it's lasted much longer than I originally anticipated. I tried to balance both, but in the end, I kind of put all my focus into the album, and I'm extremely proud of the work I did. Cool stuff. So I've come back to you not only to tell you to check out the album, it'd be really cool if you checked out the album, but also just to tell you about that process and what that was like, because it was really something. And along with that, plans for the channel in the future, yada yada yada, but story time first. So I created this album, or began the creation of this album, in June, and I mean the beginning of June 1st. I remember I had in my head, because I've had ideas for like songs and things of that nature for a while. I've been collecting kind of samples over the course of a great many number of years. And with me being in college, and the late stages of college, and with me just trying to find a station and making sure that I really do the things that I really want to do, I kind of said, you know what, screw it. I'm going to commit myself to this and just see kind of what happens with it. So I began June 1st with the idea to make an album that is 17 songs long, and I wanted to have that released in October, somewhere around mid-October. So 5 months I gave myself to create an entire album, and an especially long album too, and I thought that I could do it. No. There were so many things that I really didn't anticipate, and really looking back now at the end of that process, I can't believe that I thought I could get that all done within the span of 5 months. It's not feasible, really. And throughout the process, I kind of found out a couple things. First of all, 17 songs to start is a ridiculously long album. And so as it started to go on and seeing how I wasn't going to make my date, I decided to cut 3 songs off of the album, so turning it into a 14-song album. I thought that was a lot more reasonable, and I thought that I'd still be able to make my date, and I didn't. You see, what I found during it is that some songs were a lot more easy to kind of create, because I already had the idea just so solid in my mind that I was like, all right, perfect. And then to get those songs done in like a week, maybe even less, maybe even a couple days. And then you have some songs that are so much more complicated to compose, because maybe the idea that you have wasn't exactly, the reality of what you produced. You go back and change some things. Regardless, there were some songs that were significantly more difficult than others. But nonetheless, I just spent pretty much every week out of that, period working on music and making sure that I created songs that I was happy with in the end, and stuff that actually meant something with me. It stretched on, mixing stretched on, but it finally released, and it released on April 10th. So if you're counting, that's like 6 months later. Not great for me for scheduling, but I did it nonetheless. I finally did it. The name of the album is Pangloss, P-A-N-G Loss, L-O-S-S. And some of you might be asking, why did you make an album? What's the album about? It's kind of a mixture of things. There were a couple reasons why the name Pangloss, stood out to me as the name for a first album, some of which are more apparent than others. For one part, it's really just an album that's me talking about, things that I'm passionate about, things that I really want to talk about. And some of these things might seem trivial and might seem disconnected than the other things that are on the album, but they all, in some way or another, are very, very important to me. It's just kind of a way of expressing things that, I really kind of fell in love with. And so it's just me, I guess the best way to describe it, it's kind of like venting. But on top of that, there is a story behind it. It might not be extremely apparent now, but I intend to make it more so in the future. And so in terms of hope, the name Pangloss, if you look into it, it becomes more apparent why I named the album the way that I did. And so yeah, I've created the album, but I still need to work on getting it out there more. You know, it's very, very difficult, much more difficult than I originally thought. So I'm going to have to put, you know, a relatively significant amount of time into that, and also music videos, and, you know, kind of presenting it in a more visual way to the best of my abilities. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be spending a lot of my time on. So again, if you want to help me out, look up the album Pangloss. It's by Chris Cavalry. But if you could give that a listen, tell me what you think, tell me if you enjoyed it, tell me if, you know, you hated it. Let me know. I'd really appreciate it. All that to say, what's going to happen with this channel? I want to make something abundantly clear. I'm not abandoning this channel. It's been rough as I've come to not only, you know, a very, very busy portion of my life, but also time of reflection for what I want to do with this channel. Point being, for this channel, I'm definitely going to be steering more towards what I did originally with this channel, and that's, you know, going over horror games, because I really did enjoy playing horror games. It was really entertaining. I saw some really, really cool creations by people, and I really want to go back into that. I know I got a lot of success on this channel from commentary videos. I'm just not happy doing it. There's already so many people that are doing it, and it's just so depressing and draining just reading these really, really either sad or like disturbing stories and then just relaying it. There's already so many people doing that, and I just don't want to do it anymore. That's not to say I won't make one in the future. If there's something that I find particularly goofy, or something that I just in general want to talk about, whether that be another video essay, because I'm not abandoning my video essays. Those are some of the most important videos that I've done. But regardless, if I feel like I want to make those videos, I'll put them on this channel. It doesn't really matter to me. I know YouTube likes it when you make the same kind of content. I really don't care. I just want to put it on this channel. I want it to be seen right here on this channel. I don't want to make another channel. It's not worth it. But the main bulk going forward will be horror game gameplays that I do, and I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I will be going back to the and I'm sorry to say this, I'm going back to the Logitech Pro just because right now, what I'm filming on right now is my phone. It's great quality camera. I mean, look at me, look at some of the webcam stuff I've done in the past. The problem with that though is that it's very difficult to move that video and add it into the editing. It doesn't transfer right all the time. It just becomes really difficult. With the Logitech, I could record for an hour and just put it on top of the editing software, and it's fine. And it's so much easier to edit, and it's also in sync. For some reason, this always gets off sync with the mic, and I always have to correct it. But yeah, that's the plan moving forward with that. I want to thank everybody that's been with me for as long as they have, who are still loyal to this channel, who still expect uploads. You guys are real ones. You guys got some real faith there. But yeah, I just kind of came here to tell you the plan, and also just to, you know, let you know that I'm making other stuff, and it's stuff that I'm really, really excited for. You know, music has been something that I've always been passionate about, whether that just be playing, you know, small little snippets here and there. I've been playing piano since elementary school, bass since middle school. I have a file on my phone of literally well over 100 videos of me just playing around on the piano, some of which, or actually all of which, have been put into the album. Everything that you hear in Pangloss has been done from me messing around on the piano, and you know, I'm really excited to see what happens with that. So again, if you could give that a listen, I'd really appreciate it. You'd be doing me a big favor. And tell people if you end up enjoying it. If you really enjoy it, maybe tell your friend about it. Friends. I'm assuming that you have more than one. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. Here I am, many months later, hair untouched since August pretty much. I want to let you know that I am still here. I've got plans. I've got plans on music. I've got plans here. I've got stuff cooking, stuff brewing. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are. My name is Brockster and Chris Cavalry, and I bid you all adieu.